So let's look at the assessment methods that we are using during your course and the instruments that you're familiar with. Now, when you're working with learners, it's always great to work on any context or familiarity that they have when you're getting a concept across. Okay, so you will understand instruments and methods better when I start visually showing you how these methods and instruments are used during your course. So, one of the methods was questioning, and remember that was a strong form of evidence to determine knowledge. We also use the observations, which will predominantly be occurring during your webcast. Okay, and that is the direct observation is the strongest form of evidence. Okay, so when I can observe you following a procedure and creating a product, that's going to be fantastic. Now, another form of strong evidence is the product, because the assessor is directly observing the quality of the product produced. So far you've been gathering assessment plans, different documentation, you've been led through YouTube forms of delivery, and you've created a product and submitted that. So I can directly observe that product, and that's a very strong piece of evidence. Okay, so we've got two exceptionally strong pieces of evidence, and then we've got the strong piece of evidence for the knowledge factor. So we've covered our knowledge, we've covered our skills. Okay, so let's look across. The questions, the instruments for the questions are the YouTube documents. So let's go and have a little look at that. I'm opening up the Assessor Guide version. So you can see here is the question, and to make it a full instrument on your documentation, we've got the marking guideline, and we have the benchmarking within that question, and that's how it's now an instrument, okay, to measure whether you're satisfactory or not satisfactory. Here at Evoke, we train our assessors that the procedures here at Evoke is red text indicates the correct response, and that in the right-hand column they can then select whether it's satisfactory or not satisfactory. So what we would do is we teach our assessors how to split the screen. So we hit the little Windows key and right-click, and then they would actually open up on the left-hand side your submission, and then you're comparing and contrasting. And on your submission, we would be ticking whether it was satisfactory or not yet satisfactory. Alright, so there is an example of the question instrument. You can see here as well, here's a little YouTube insert, and that is an example of the e-learning delivery. So we've married up our assessing instruments with our delivery component within the one document, and that has come after many validation sessions where we've had feedback from clients, we've had feedback from assessors, and it's always simplify it, streamline it, keep it simple, make it efficient, you know, get the admin out of it. So this is currently the process that we are using at Evoke. And I mentioned validation because part of this assessment module is largely about validation. So you're seeing the end product of validation, where we're getting information back from all of the users, the assessor users and the candidates, and refining constantly, always continually improving to make it a better product and better service. So questions you've seen. What about product? The product method. Well, that's contained within our YouTube document as well. You can see here that you have been given a blank template for Susan's assessment plan, and beside it on the assessor guideline is what's called an exemplar. Okay, so that is a satisfactory model of what the submission should look like, and you can see that all of the information that the candidate was required to complete is here in the red text again. So any assessor could pick this up and be able to determine whether it was satisfactory or not yet satisfactory. Okay.